うん、俺はもう準備万端だ。
チームワークですか？お任せください。みんなを守る。やってみせる。みんなを守る。敵の隙を作ります。
私は進行するためのやりそこれくらいの痛みなら平気。おう、できるとでも思っている。いつの日か全ての障害を乗り越える。
みんなを守る。人気そうな
私についてくれる。お、誰でもいいからかかってきなさい。
みんなを守る。やってみせる。みんなを守る。終幕です。さあ、永遠に眠りなさい。早期理解帰還粛清開始。終幕です。さあ、永遠に眠りなさい。 はいみんな
Hey Abby, sorry I've been unresponsive today. I've been busy. Been busy. Yeah, I went to the health food store, but they're closed on Sunday. Somehow I forgot that. I'm functional enough to be able to pay my bills and make appointments and stuff, but I completely forgot that they're closed. They still got a nice lunch and everything, but that was like the main reason I wanted to go, was to go get some snacks and drop the ball. Used to like Chick-fil-A being closed on Sunday, but last sentence I always forget. It's the second time I've done that. That's alright though.
このコンチェルトのそ
あいつがターゲットか。先陣を切らせてもらうぞ。
どんなハーモニーがお好きですか？
おい気をつけろ。これ赤いちゃん邪魔だ。
メヌエットの時間です。
Okay, is that Grow? If that's Grow, I'll mod you. Prove to me that you're GrowTube TV. The artist formerly known as GrowTube TV. Prove it to me. Say something only Grow would say. I don't want to mod some rando. I think that's Grow, but I need confirmation.
ファンタジーの始まります天才ビル私の指示に従い滅びるか派手にさ私の振り向き
Alright, so far no confirmation. I don't know if that's Grow or not. Or I impersonator. I think it is Grow, but he needs to like tag me on Discord or something. He needs to ping me on Discord and he can get his mod ship back. His moderator status.
Team work ですか？お任せください。
Yeah, DM me, ping me in my Discord, and say that that's you. I don't want to mod a random person and have them go on a banning spree. Alright. Okay. Alright, there you go. There you go. There you go. Alright, you proved it. Good job. Yeah, that's a very good proof there. Nobody else would say that. All right, welcome back. So is your old account just gone completely, or is it like in like suspension or something? I don't really understand how that works. I don't quite remember what she told me. Let's reset. Disabled, what does that mean? So it's like not banned? What's the difference between banned and disabled? That's so scummy for them to do that. You have fucking Sniper Wolf on this channel, on this this site, straight up doxing somebody and threatening them. That's fine, because she makes them money. And then like all you did was just upload some match videos, just insta-banned. Shit makes me livid, man. I'm so tired of this site. I'm not even talking about things going on with my channel, just in general. I'm sick of this site. It's embarrassing how bad it's gotten. I'm tired of the double standards. Starting to really get on my nerves. The rules don't apply to you if you make them a lot of money. Then if somebody our size does something like that, it's something like not even anywhere near as bad. They just ban you instantly. Makes me fucking just so angry. The Twitch staff has the hots for you. Well, They'll let you get away with anything. Same thing on Twitch as well. I hate when people just perpetuate the double standards. And they say stuff like, "Oh, they lost a lot of money because they got banned." So what? So what? That doesn't matter. They broke the rules. They broke the rules. It doesn't matter. They should lose their entire livelihood because they ban people for less. I'm tired of that. Moving the goalposts that people do whenever a famous person, they get brought back like scot-free. Stop doing that. They've proven that they'll ban people for like nothing. If you're not relevant enough to them, they'll just ban you. No second chances. But if you make 5-6 figures on here, they look the other way. They don't care. They'll just unban you after a week. It's like detention. It's basically detention. It's like suspension if you're not making lots of money on here. And it's detention if you're, It's detention if you're popular and you make money. It's just rage-inducing. It really makes me angry. I almost lost my channel. I don't know if people know this, but the only trouble I've ever had on YouTube was when I played an indie game on here and the composer went like batshit insane and started mass sending copyright claims to anybody who even played the game. And luckily, I was at home and I was awake when it happened, and I deleted all the videos before she could claim the rest. There is a very real possibility I could have lost this channel because of that. That's really the only trouble I've been in, and it's not like I actually did anything. It was, a composer went on a freaking, I don't know, power trip tantrum. I know for a fact that they wouldn't care. They would just ban me without a second thought because I don't make them a lot of money. That's why I was very, very anxious that day because I know that they don't care about me. Nobody at the YouTube office has the hots for me. They don't have the hots for me or anything, so the rules apply to me. They just ban me outright. They do that on Twitch as well. It's totally been obvious that they, some of the people at Twitch have parasocial relationships with the people, the large streamers, and they just, like, kind of let them ignore the rules because they think they have a chance with them. And it's not just women either, it's all genders. The gender doesn't matter, it's the fact that the staff likes to play favorites. It's completely unprofessional. No professionalism at all. I know somebody who got banned because of something they said in the chat. Something they said in a streamer's chat that, out of context, seemed like maybe it was hate speech. But in the context of the game that was being played on his stream, There's nothing harmful about it at all. And they banned him for 2 months. They banned him for 2 months. And like they couldn't even contact the staff. The staff was just completely ignoring them. It's so hard to get a human. You think it's hard to get a human like when you call like Walmart or something? It's like impossible to get a human on Twitch. So if their AI moderating automod bans you, you pretty much just have to wait. Unless you're one of the few people that the Twitch staff has the hots for, so then they'll unban you instantly. But for the other 99.9999% people, you can just get unjustly banned like that. It's no fault of your own, because they don't want to actually do their jobs. They want the AI to do it for them. I heard somebody say that the reason that they don't respond is because they think it will promote favoritism. I'm like, well, that's already out the window. Because it's been proven that if you make them a lot of money, that the rules don't apply to you. It's happened hundreds of times now in Twitch's history, YouTube as well. So I don't buy that excuse at all. That's a bunch of bullshit. If you're not relevant in their eyes, they make you just wait, and they ghost you, and then you get randomly unbanned. I know 2 people I personally know 2 people that's happened to. That's the only thing that matters. Do they have the hots for you, or do you make them a lot of money, or both? Then, yeah, you're banned for like 3 days, tops. If you're a nobody like me, you're just perma-banned. No chance. Oh, King Smurf, yeah, I wanted to talk to you. Atlas Fallen is jacked, man. And I don't mean the gameplay. When I try to play it, it says it's running at 120 FPS, but it feels like it's 40. So the game actually, like, makes me motion sick. I still have it installed. I've spent hours trying to get it to work, but the devs need to fix their shit. It's out of my control. I thank you for paying for half of it. It's not your fault. I don't want you to feel bad, but yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. I spent hours trying to fix it. I had no luck whatsoever.
안녕하세요. 세리아 키르빈이라고 해요.
Yeah, don't feel bad about it. You only paid for half of it. I paid for the rest. But yeah, I wanted to tell you. It's not like I abandoned you or anything. It's out of my control. You can even watch the past couple streams where I tried to get it working. The classic messed up port. I just wanted to be transparent. I wanted to be transparent, you know. I try to be transparent with people that help me out. Can't see what I'm playing? No, it's not the phone. Hold on. I haven't played this game in like 2 years. I gotta set up the source. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, this game doesn't work with the auto detect source. There you go. Thank you.
오늘도 좋은 하루 되세요. 저는 항상 기다리고 있어요.
Favorite Tales game, not Arise. Favorite Tales game, not Arise. That game is garbage.
안녕하세요. 세리아.
I'm glad you enjoy it, but I hated that game so much. Okay, how does this work again? Wait a minute, how do I do this? I'm a little confused right now.
안녕하세요. 세리아 키르빈이라고 해요.
How do I do this? I wish the interface for this was better. Wait.
안녕하세요. 세리아 키르빈이라고 해요.
Okay, I got it now. Alright. I was a little confused. Yeah, they added official controller support to this game, so I kind of felt like coming back. Alright, let me make sure this is working. Let me go ahead and go back to default. Favorite Tales game would be, gameplay-wise, Xillia 2, Vesperia, Destiny Remake, and then the 2 Vita games are the best for gameplay. Everything else is under that to some degree, but for the battle system, those are the best games by far. That's pretty... For the sweaty Tales players, that's pretty much widely considered to be almost undisputable. The order of which those games are in varies from person to person, but yeah, those are pretty much unanimously the best Tales games for gameplay. I actually just beat 2 Star Ocean games last month. I just beat 2 Star Ocean games last month. So, if you want to see Star Ocean gameplay, you can go look at my my VODs. My stream VODs. I played most of those games on stream. So, it's there if you want it. I didn't grow up with the Star Ocean 2 remake. I didn't grow up with Star Ocean 2, so... I kind of had to judge that game based on what it's like now, instead of any kind of childhood nostalgia. I didn't grow up with it. Which I think is better anyway, because people tend to give really shitty games passes because they grew up with them and they have like a big connection with them and everything, and I didn't grow up with it.
거기 멋진 사람.
멋쟁이
잠깐 멈춰봐.
내가 아주 설기.
혹시
뭐지?
이거
No, the East games are good, yeah. The ones that are on Steam. I mean, they pretty much have the whole series on there. They have, like, every East game on there except, which ones do they not have? They don't have East 10. That's not localized yet. That game's Japan only currently. But yeah, East is, good action RPG series to get into, because they actually care about preservation. They have pretty much all of them on there. They're only missing, like, the spin-offs at this point. They have 1, 2, they have Oath and Felghana, they have Celceta, which is a remake of 4. They don't have 5 on there, but 5 was, like, not made by Falcom, from what I remember, so that will probably get remade at some point. They have 6, 7, 8, and 9. So yeah, pretty much the entire series is on Steam. They tend to not be as cheap as the Tales games, but relatively affordable. What the hell happened? Controller stopped working. Oh, I know why. I know why. I hate when this happens. Let me see if I can fix this. I told it to remove this and it put itself back on. Why the fuck does it do this, man? You just work normally? No, turn it off. It's fucking A, man. Why does it do this? They add stuff that no one wants. No, I don't want that on. Turn it off forever. I don't want it. The fuck does the controller stop working for? I hate when this happens. They don't fix it. Whatever. Just work normally. It's fucking in the middle of playing, man. So goddamn annoying. You can't find answers on Google anymore because it's all Reddit posts where nobody helps. Or it's fucking AI generated because nobody wants to actually do work anymore. How the fuck do I fix this? I don't want to watch a video, just tell me. It's always some clickbait video. How do I do this? I already have it disabled, though. I said disable it. I don't fucking want it. Yes, get rid of it. And never turn it on again. Still not fucking working, man. Can I just play a game? They add the most useless fucking stuff, I swear. Leave it the way it was. So damn annoying, man. How the fuck do I fix this? Yes, stop asking. Just do it. Still can't fucking play. Ugh. Fucking annoying, man. It takes so goddamn long to get back in this game. It thinks the controller is a mouse. Just work. I already did that. It doesn't work. Will this fucking work? It worked normally like 2 minutes ago. God, man. So irritating. They don't fucking fix anything.
침착해라.
Get out of the damn game! Now it's working again. What the fuck? God, I hate that shit. Yeah, they don't want to hire anybody, and they don't want to pay. They keep jacking off to all the terrible people on the site. They don't promote people that actually have passion and honesty. I've gotten so tired of this site. Just like straight, just exhausted. I hate when I, like, look for something as a viewer. I'm not even talking about the state of my channel. There's always a bunch of fuckers making clickbait. And I can't find an answer for what I'm looking for. Because there's no integrity on the site at all anymore. It's all just catering to the algorithm to make money. Never mind that you waste everyone's time. It's sad. And the fact that they give so many garbage people passes as well because they make money or they have boners for them or whatever. I'm tired of that shit as well. It's legit exhausting. The site didn't used to be like this. It's been getting a lot worse, even just as a viewer. You're looking for like an actual help with something, a game or even like non-gaming stuff. There's so much fucking clickbait. And nobody wants to tell the truth anymore. Everyone just wants to line their pockets.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been going on Twitter as well. Twitter has a lot of those blatant scam ads, like the dropship sites say that they're gonna send you something in a crate or whatever, and it's just stuff that they got from China, from the AliExpress or Temu for like $2, and they charge like $200 for it. All the mobile game ads as well, that basically catfish people, because the gameplay in the ad is not actually representative of the actual game. It's basically, they make it look really good, and then it's just like some shitty turn-based, like, strategy game or something that's not even a good strategy game. Because it's all about how much money you spend instead of any actual skill or thought. I might not like turn-based games, but there are a lot of really good turn-based games out there. The mobile games are not, though. Which is what most of them are, because it doesn't take any talent to make a game like that. Yeah, if you want to play a turn-based game, play an actual game. Don't play... It's fucking doing this again, man. I might have to ask for help with this. I don't know why that happens. Alright. It's probably a bug with the controller support. No, they don't care about, YouTube doesn't care about... They don't care about integrity at all. If they did, they wouldn't have so many fucking scumbags on here blatantly cheating the system. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, the ads are really funny because they're basically like doing what they tell us to not do. Don't lie to people and don't scam people. And then the ads are doing exactly that. A lot of the Twitter ads are just blatant scams. Most of them are, actually. They're blatant scams. No, I don't like turn-based games. They bore me. I need some kind of actual gameplay. I get really bored. I don't like just standing there and watching them get hit. It bores me. I need more than that. I have liked a couple turn-based games, but not very many.
Nice. Nice. 군대 참가.
Oh, there's definitely a market for turn-based games still. It's just... It's a hard sell for a lot of people. The thing about turn-based is it will never be outdated, because there's lots of people that don't like... They don't like action combat, or they don't have the manual dexterity for it.
Got it.
It's just turn-based games are the most jacked genre right now. Because you get, like, really good stuff like Persona and Dragon Quest on console, and then there's all the shitty mobile games. Or the actual, like, a good part of turn-based games, which is having full control over the battle and being able to think and strategize, is gone, because the thing that matters above all else is spending money. It's a pretty messed up genre, I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying that because I don't like it. I'm saying that because of the truth. There's much more of a disconnect with modern turn-based games than like any other genre. There's mobile first-person shooters and stuff that are legit good. But like with turn-based, the problem is there's like already not really a whole lot of gameplay. It's mostly the strategy and stuff. You have a lot more control over what goes on than like an action game, which is what's going to always be the appeal. And when you make it about microtransactions, then none of that matters. And if it does, it doesn't matter anywhere near as much as if you play like Pokemon or Dragon Quest or Persona. I actually really think the mobile games have done so much damage to turn-based games that that's probably a bigger reason why people don't like them anymore, and not necessarily because they feel it's outdated. Because you get inundated with those ads everywhere. The ads are everywhere for those, and they're all trash, because you don't have to strategize. You just have to swipe. There's no skill. There's plenty of skill when you play a turn-based game. Maybe not the same skill as playing something like this, but there is a lot of skill and strategy. But the emphasis on microtransactions basically removes all of it. Most, if not all of it. So you're always going to have an advantage over somebody that's like actually engaging with the systems, the battle system, over somebody who's spending a lot of money. Well, I mean, isn't that what Persona is? Persona is above average turn-based combat and like 100 hours of story. There's nothing special about Persona at all. It does have much better turn-based combat than pretty much most of the other stuff that's on the market. But, I mean, that's really all it is. It has some of the best turn-based combat in the market, and then it also has like 100 hours of story. It's just a love it or hate it kind of thing. Some people, most of the criticism I hear about Persona is just the fact that it's too long. You know, you can beat like 3 Pokemon games in that time. Like 2 Dragon Quest games. The same amount of time it takes to beat 1 Persona. They're definitely a time commitment. I couldn't play a game like that because I just hate games about school. I had a really rough time in school, as you guys can probably imagine. The things I've shared about my past. I don't want to play a game about school. I don't like dating sims. And I don't like turn-based combat, so I will never play those games, but I definitely am an advocate for them being a good thing. Turn-based games shouldn't die just because they're not as popular as they used to be. Like I said, it's mostly mobile gacha games that have done more damage to turn-based games than just the fact that they're considered out of style. Most people think every turn-based game is like that. It's like it's not. You can't like spend $1,000 and get like a level 255 Mewtwo. You gotta grind that shit up, and then just because you have a maxed out legendary Pokemon doesn't mean you can just auto-win. You still have to strategize and compose a team and everything. You have to do all that stuff still. The game doesn't do that for you. There's no shortcut with spending money. But there's just so many of those shitty mobile games that people just think they're all like that, which is obviously false. There's turn-based games that have aged better than action games. There's a lot. More than people want to admit. That's part of the reason why the Pokemon games, people still play the old ones. They don't immediately just trash the old installments when a new one comes out, like a lot of other stuff. Tales is a perfect example, because Tales is the opposite of turn-based, right? It's action combat with a high emphasis, a high inspiration from fighting games. You know, you have like frame data and punishes and optimal combos and the whole movesets and stuff. But like the early Tales games have aged like mud. They've aged like milk. They're not really good to play anymore. The new ones are objectively better. Even Arise is still more enjoyable than playing like the original Tales of Destiny, which is just a complete slog and doesn't feel good. Whereas people can still play like Pokemon Ruby, Ruby and Gold, Silver, Crystal. Still play them. A lot of people don't want to admit that, because they just blindly hate turn-based games and don't even want to give them a chance. I'm like, yeah, it's aged better. It's aged better than a lot of your favorite games for sure. Just on the basis that the gameplay doesn't really have to conform to standards that we're used to. No, I haven't played. The only Dragon Quest game I ever played was Dragon Quest Heroes 2, because it wasn't turn-based. Only reason. Dragon Quest games, I'm sorry, they just look so boring. I get the appeal, but it doesn't feel like they've really changed the mechanics much, and it doesn't have anything to do with it being turn-based. It kind of does, from the outside, it seems like they've just been making the same game for like 35 years. There hasn't been as much advancement as like compared to Pokemon. All the stuff that they've added to the battle system, the different types and stuff. I guess that's what people like about them, is there's just kind of the same game. It's no different than Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the same game every year, and people like it because of that. Assassin's Creed as well. I definitely get the appeal, but it's not for me. There's a lot of people that feel that way about Dragon Quest. It's like you've played one, you've played them all, but you know, every couple years you get an adventure with nice graphics and music and a decent story. And like above average turn-based combat. I mean, I understand. People line up for the same damn Call of Duty game every year. Dragon Quest games don't come out that often. That helps the case too. There's no Dragon Quest game every 11 months.
Shut.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears here, because a game in my wish list just came out. We're gonna check it out. We'll play more of this later. Let me go buy that game right now. Give me a sec. I feel like Pokemon is kind of like not much better than Call of Duty. Because they put it out every year, and Pokemon has the exact same problems that Call of Duty does, where they crunch the developers to death, and the games come out buggy and half-finished, and they're never as good as they could be if they went on like a hiatus, if they did it like biannual instead of every single year. Pokemon and Call of Duty have a lot in common. The games would be a lot better if they didn't force one out the door every single year. People have finally been waking up to it because the quality has just gotten worse. The Pokemon games on Switch have all had a lot of bugs, and they run at like 20 FPS. They barely function. And I'm like, yeah, Pokemon is kind of caught up to Call of Duty with the inconsistent quality. They don't care how hard the developers have to work and like never go home as long as they have the game on the shelf every October. The only thing they care about. It's just interesting because people are finally starting to clap back. The games they still sell millions of copies, but people are getting increasingly unhappy with the quality of the games and how much it's taken a nosedive. Which is exactly what's happening with Call of Duty right now. They put out another Call of Duty like a couple weeks ago that's basically just an asset flip and could have been DLC, but it's $70 with microtransactions. It's the same damn game. And now Pokemon is pretty much doing that too. It was like such a big deal when they said that they weren't going to do an Assassin's Creed game for like, they're going to skip a year. I'm like, yeah, you should have done that a long time ago. Assassin's Creed has also been the same game for like 15 years. Assassin's Creed is a weird one because you hear people talk about Call of Duty, you hear people talk about Pokemon, but for like the annual franchises that get spammed every year, you never hear anyone talk about Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is still popular with normies. But I guess normies aren't as active on social media. They aren't as vocal. Well, yeah, those games still make a ton of money. They do tend to be better put together than the competition, though, meaning Pokemon and Call of Duty, which also get spammed every year. I'll give them that much. God, this translation is terrible. I played the demo for this and it was so hard to figure out how to play. They don't know how to translate. Also, the game is really choppy. I can't change VSync. I need to hire a translator. Metal Gear Solid remake, yeah, that seems kind of random. I don't really see why that game needs a remake. I think the only reason they're remaking Metal Gear Solid 3 is because they can't make a new game. They tried to make a service game and it didn't work. They tried Metal Gear Survive, that was like the first post-Kojima Metal Gear. Well, actually, that was that and what's it called? No, Rising was before Metal Gear 5, wasn't it? Rising was 2013, I think 5 was 2015. Yeah, and then they did Survive after that, and nobody liked that game. It was dead on arrival. Well, Rising has like barely any connection to the overarching Metal Gear plot. Barely any. It's mostly just how much story can we make with the main character basically dead and minimal involvement from the creator. Story's trash in my opinion. Actually felt stupider actually listening to it, watching it. The gameplay and presentation of that game and the music. It's just an overall solid game. I don't think it's really remembered for the plot though, unlike other Metal Gear games. It's mostly just... it was a genre shift that actually worked. That like nobody complained about. Which is interesting because they changed the formula of the Yakuza games with the turn-based combat, and most people despise it. Ouch. I think it's mostly because the Yakuza 7 was like not even really a great turn-based game. Even in the limitations of being a turn-based game, it wasn't great. Infinite Wealth looks a lot better, but it's still not going to, still not going to win people over. I think that's the problem. Yeah, I say that was one of the more successful major genre shifts in a established franchise that we've ever gotten, was Rising. People were pretty open to it. God, the translation is terrible. They really need to hire a translator. A lot of these Chinese games have like better gameplay than a lot of the other action roguelikes, but they like never hire a translator. It's like barely comprehensible. I've played so many of these Chinese roguelikes and they never get professional translation. It feels like they run it through Babelfish or something. I think it's worse when they put like such an emphasis on the story. And it's like people already don't care about the story in games like this in the first place, but then they put so much time into it, and it's like you don't even want to give it a chance because the translation is so bad. I've seen some of these games have like wall of text cutscenes. It's like, dude, it's not in good English. Any narrative value it has is gone. They like the story and stuff like Hades, because Hades actually has a good plot. Most roguelikes have like non-existent plot. I actually don't care. I'm not a story gamer. I'm strictly gameplay. Hades was definitely a really good story, though. They actually made the story matter. Most people who play roguelikes don't give two shits about story. Most of them don't even have a story. Hades was an exception, not the norm. Hades also has like thousands of lines of professionally voiced dialogue. A lot of roguelikes are actually like very cheap to make, so they don't even have the money to do that. And you have stuff like this, which is probably trying to do it, but they don't have any professional translators, so it's all gibberish. Movement in this game feels very good. You know, the Zhao Yun game that comes out in a couple days, they're actually delaying the they're delaying the English translation because they don't want it to be like this. That's pretty commendable. Because bad translations in these games go beyond being unable to understand the story. It's like you can't understand you can't understand what the items do because the English is so bad. Yeah, there's a Zhao Yun game coming out on PC. It's called The Legend of Zhao Yun or something like that. Comes out, I think the same day as the Game Awards, so I'm excited. Ouch. How do I upgrade? I don't understand. The game doesn't explain anything. And it's in, like, barely translated English. What am I supposed to do? Can you tell me how to do anything? Come on, like, it's like they don't even care to translate the game. Why even have English if it's gonna be this bad? It's like, just don't even have English at all. And to put this little effort in the translation where I can't understand what anything does because they just ran it through Google Translate and even try. So items and stuff, I can barely tell what they do because they didn't even translate it properly. Look at this. Like, come on, hire a translator. How hard is it? Somebody would do it for free. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this game, to be honest. It doesn't explain anything, and the translation is garbage. Might as well just, like, not have other languages. How do I, like, level up the character? The game doesn't fucking explain anything. It's like they don't have anybody that can speak English. They don't even have the achievements translated. Yeah, I might not keep that game. I think I gave it a good chance. Like, expecting legible English, understandable English is not really a typical gamer complaint. I think it should be standard. Because action roguelikes actually have way more reading than something like Call of Duty or Overwatch, where, you know, a kid that doesn't speak English or one of the supported languages could play those games just fine. Roguelikes actually have a deceptive amount of reading comprehension and stuff that you have to read. Like, way more than you would expect. Even stuff like Vampire Survivors. If the translation's not of a high quality, the game is kind of like not playable. Unless you speak the native language, which, I think Vampire Survivors is like, it's like a British game or something. So, you speak English, it's fine, but, who knows? Maybe the Brazilian, Portuguese, or Chinese translation is shit. It's like, well, the game's going to be a lot harder to play because you have to make constant decisions that impact the rest of the run. You have to make a build in pretty much every roguelike. And if the translation is poor, your solution is to either point your phone at the screen constantly, use one of the screenshot apps as well, or guess. It's weird because, like, some games have, like, that don't have much reading required, have, like, really good translations in, like, multiple languages, so people all over the world can play. And then there's stuff like that where, like, even the basic, like, English translation is terrible. And I'm like, yeah, you can't translate it into English. I don't want to imagine what, like, the French one is like, or the Spanish. Probably even worse. That's generally the complaint with localization, is a lot of times I think the Russian translations and, like, the Brazilian Portuguese ones are, like, really bad. I guess because they think that there's not as many people that are going to be buying the game in those countries, so they tend to kind of rush it out really quick. I see a lot of those complaints on some of the games that I play, like, the Russian translation is terrible. They're like, yeah, they probably machine translated it because they think that the brunt of their sales is going to come from somewhere else. That's kind of a bummer. The gameplay was fun, but I don't know how long I can really play that with translation the way it is. Let's see, what else we got here? Let's do a Skybreakers run. No, the most common fan translations that get done is Brazilian Portuguese. because a lot of games actually don't support Brazilian Portuguese, or if they do, it's a really bad translation, so like barely usable. Some indie developers have actually accepted that help, but I see a lot of them just kind of go on empty ears. It's like, well, you know, you have an actual market in those countries, especially because the economy in Brazil is really messed up, and a lot of the AAA games are like triple the price of what we pay here. In comparison to their, you know, how much money they make, like minimum wage. So they're like, a lot of the AAA games they've priced themselves out of that country entirely, unless somebody is very well off or is a content creator or something and can afford those prices. So a lot of them will play games like this, but then they also get gatekept by shit translations, so it sucks, really. A lot of people don't really think about this kind of stuff, but it doesn't happen as much with English as it does other languages. But yeah, roguelikes kind of don't work when you have a really bad translation. Because it's like every single decision you make is like very important. It can change the course of the next half hour of gameplay. And if you don't actually know what you're choosing, or the translation is bad enough that it doesn't really convey what the item or ability does, then the game is kind of not playable. This game's translation is not great either. It's above average. But yeah, there's definitely some items in this game that don't do what they say because the translation is not perfect, but it's acceptable. You can tell that they actually did get somebody who's at least a native speaker, or I don't know. There's plenty of people that are born knowing one language and then they move like really early in life and they're able to pick up another language, and they might not even have their native accent because, you know, they grew up in Texas or something. There's plenty of people like that. My best friend is Vietnamese, but he was born here. He was born here, so he speaks like every other Californian. The only time he has anything resembling an accent is when he actually talks in Vietnamese to his family. Other than that, you couldn't really tell. But he does speak Vietnamese. So, like, he could probably translate something like this with, like, not much text into Vietnamese if he got a job for it or something. He probably couldn't do, like, a full, like, Persona game or Dragon Quest or something, but, like, something like this he could probably do. And, like, the translation would be pretty good. I don't want to keep this run. Oh, Scarlet, the expectation with smaller games like that is that it will at least be in English. Almost every game will have English, regardless of what country it's made in and how small it is, because they know that that's what, you know, even people that don't have English as a first language can generally still speak it, right? Or, you know, there's plenty of people from other countries that learn English through games and movies and stuff. That's because most stuff is going to be in English just by default. But if you don't speak English, whether the game has a translation at all is kind of a crapshoot, especially if it's a smaller game, because it takes a lot of money to localize. So, but yeah, with those Chinese games, it's a real crapshoot if even the English translation is bad. Because for a game like that, you're not going to be able to expect like Russian or Italian or like Brazilian Portuguese or Vietnamese or something, you know. Most people are going to have to default to English that, you know, don't speak it as a first language and they can get by, but alright, let's see what else I got here. I should probably get to bed soon because I gotta do some more stuff tomorrow. Actually, today it's already past midnight. I forgot how late I started. Let's see what else I feel like playing. I kind of just want to chill out. That's the second game I've bought though with an abysmal English translation, to the point where the game is like not even really playable. I think they get in over their heads because they think like roguelikes are basically just arcade games, right? They're basically just arcade games that are replayable. They have like meta progression and builds and stuff. But then like the translation in that means more than like, you know, if you speak like, you know, of like a less popular language and you play like Devil May Cry, there's nothing to read in the game, right? There's barely anything. You could play that game with zero like reading comprehension of like English, you know, if they don't support your language. But then in roguelikes, the translation actually matters a lot, especially if the translation is not properly telling you what the items do. But yeah, that's the second Chinese roguelike I've bought in the past month that's had that problem. I'm like, you guys got to put at least a little money into the translation. It reminds me of when Pokemon Gold and Silver came out, and there was that pseudo-wudo that you had to like water or something to get past, and like, because a bunch of kids figured out how to pirate Game Boy, right? Like, the problem with Game Boy was it had the same problem as the Neo Geo. Suddenly, the Game Boy was so old that, you know, you could pirate the game so easily. You know, but suddenly they had like this mega popular cultural phenomenon on there, and kids figured out how to download the ROMs and play it, and they all got stuck at that same spot. I remember that. I did that too as a kid. I found the Pokemon Gold ROM and I played it before it came out over here, and I got stuck at that pseudo-wudo. Out of the Chinese games I've played recently, best translations I would say would be The Awakener of Forgotten Oath, the game I played last month. That translation was pretty good. You could definitely tell it wasn't translated by a native English speaker, but it was good enough that you could play the game. It definitely was really very strange broken English, but it's more than playable. BlazBlue Entropy Effect as well as a very good English translation. That game is completely Chinese developed as well, but you can tell they put a lot of effort into the localizations, so it's perfectly playable. Seventh Domain is a game I haven't played on the channel. I've been playing it in private, and the translation is terrible. You could tell that I don't even think they actually got a translator for that game. I think they just ran all the text through like AI or something. They ran it through like Google Translate. I know people like to say that a lot with poor English translations, but it actually is something that does happen. And it's a shame because that game is pretty cool, but like I can't really recommend it because the translation is terrible. It matters what you're picking up. You have to know what you're picking up and what things do. And the translation is just awful, so you can't really play it the way that they would intend it to if you spoke, you spoke Chinese. I'm really not too anal about translations. I don't really care as long as the message gets across. But I think the problem is, like, China's starting to make a lot of roguelikes, and the translation quality is a complete crapshoot. Actually, that's why on Pokemon boxes, I think it was after the second gen, they had to put on the back of the box that basic reading ability is required to play this game. They actually had to put that because parents were buying it for, like, their toddlers. And I'm like, it's a good way to teach them how to read, but if they don't know how to read, the game is basically unplayable. Because there's actually a deceptive amount of reading in Pokemon. Like, just basic functionality, you have to be able to have, like, at least first, second grade reading level. They had to put that on the back of the box. I think they still do that. I haven't looked at the back of a Pokemon box in ages, but that was something they had to start doing because soccer moms were not doing research and thought that just because the kid watches the cartoon, they can play the game. I'm like, no, they need to be at least probably second grade reading level, I would imagine. At least like 7 or 8 years old. It's not like the game has any mature content in it, but it's the reading is gonna gatekeep a lot of people, a lot of kids, for sure. This game has barely any reading in comparison. The only reading in this game is these figures, and they've all been translated years ago. The only thing that's needed in this game is actually knowing Kamen Rider, because the translation is in a notepad file, and it just says the name of the character. And this is Kuga Mighty Form right here. So all it's going to say is Kuga Mighty Form. So you can either go by the number, the ID of the figure, or the actual character that's there. But yeah, other than that, there's like no reading in this game at all. It's very import friendly. I played through this game with limited Japanese back when it came out, and like barely anything was translated at the time. It took a while. This is like a very high, very good game to import. There's like not much reading. Subete taos. Oh! Laida Hoden! Zo! Got the OGs right here. The OGs. Look at these guys, man. They don't need all those forms and toys. Kamen Rider is invincible. I actually didn't play as the Showa Riders that much when this game came out. They're actually a lot more mechanically deep to play than the Heisei Riders, because they only have to make one form, at most like 2 or 3 instead of 17. Some of the Heisei Riders in this game, based on how many forms they have, are like very shallow gameplay-wise. With the Showa Riders are on par with a lot of Masara characters, in my opinion. They're pretty close in terms of moveset depth and just being fun to play. Aida Hoten. Cyclone. Oh! So. Yeah! Get him! Beautiful. Yeah, beat his ass. Let's play as another Showa Rider. There's a couple I haven't played as that much. My favorite's Super 1 and Sky Rider. Ichigo is pretty fun as well. Let's play as one other Showa Rider. Alright, let's see who I haven't tried. Oh, let's see here. I don't really like Black and Black RX that much. We'll try Black RX. What about Taiyo? Kamen Rider Black RX. Voltec Shooter. Audio attack. Yes! Yes! Top cool shit right there, or Volcane finish. This fucking game, man. Best shit. RX kick. Yes. Oh, you're gonna get it, man. You're gonna get it. Sona. Saban's Master Rider. Alright. How many Showa riders do I have left to try? I got V3, X, Amazon, and Stronger. The rest is all Heisei. Let's try V3. They really need to make a sequel to this. Long overdue. It's been almost 10 years. Where's Batride War 4? Just give me more riders and like actual tagging and shit. Man, I'd play that game forever. If they can keep up the moveset quality that this game has, I would be over the moon, man. Not gonna happen though. How many riders are in this game? Has like 30 something characters. It has all the Showa riders, and it has a bunch of the Heisei riders from Kuga to Ghost. So a lot of the secondary riders. This is a very underrated Musou game that like nobody plays. It's a very good game. It's a legit good Musou game. Especially now that I did the commission to get the frame rate uncapped. Now you don't really have an excuse. It's not... There's like no language barrier in this game, pretty much. It's more of a knowledge barrier. Because the translations kind of assume that you understand Kamen Rider and you know it, at least most of the characters. Yes! This game is a work of art. Needs to win the Game Awards. Best game. I'm just always smiling playing this game because there's so much fan service. They did a good job of putting their moves into a Musou setting. They obviously don't have that generous hitboxes in the actual show, but other than that, they took like barely any liberties. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at driving. Wait. Oh yeah. Scanning charge. Ultimate. I never really played as B3 that much with the PS4 version. Got the Helheim keyhole over here. Zipper.
一見落着やな。正義あるところ、必ず勝利があると私は信じる。
How many characters are in this game? Let's see here. $51 characters. 48 base characters. And then they did DLC for Ghost, because Ghost was still airing. Well, when they were making the game, Ghost had, like, probably barely started. So they, the things they did with Batride War games is, they always had the current rider, because it's supposed to be like a tie-in, right? But the problem is it's tokusatsu, so they get, like, 15 forms and stuff. So, generally in these games, 1, 2, and 3, because this is the third game, you don't want to play as the characters that You want to play the characters from the season that was currently airing, because they really suck. Like, the first Batride War was Forze, so you might recognize him from my profile picture. He kind of sucked to play from what I heard, because he didn't have all his forms. He was actually one of the most fun characters to play in 1 and 2, because he only has one extra form, so he didn't get that much added over the games. And then 2 was based on Gaim. Actually, Wizard... I think Wizard... Yeah, Batride War 1 was based on Wizard. So, he did not have Infinity style. They added it as free DLC. So what they did with these games, which is pretty unheard of, is they made the final forms of the season that they were cross-promoting with, they made it free DLC. So, he got his final form added a couple months after release. He did as well with Kiwami Arms, and then they also put him in. I think he was a free character, Zangetsu. But yeah, the second game was cross-promoting with Gaim. So, Gaim kind of sucked balls to play, because he didn't really have all his tools from the show. And then Drive, Drive didn't have that problem, because this game came out after Drive was finished airing, so... Yeah, they put Chaser in as DLC. But yeah, they're all pretty much complete. And then Ghost was what was currently airing when this game was being developed, so they all really suck to play. Ghost is the most miserable character to play in this game, because he has a Dynasty Warriors charge attack system, but his attacks take like 5 seconds to come out, and there's no dodge offset. He feels really bad to play. I'm sure if they ever make another one, he'll probably be better to play, but yeah, they kind of suck to play. That was the problem with these games, is they tried to make it celebrate all of Kamen Rider as a whole, but then they're also limited by the source material, because the season, like I said, the first game was Wizard, the second game was Gaim, and then this one was Ghost. So they generally really suck to play, but as a gesture, they made their final forms for the first 2 games. The final forms were free DLC. I don't remember when this game came out in 2016, but Ghost, you have to factor in how long they must have been working on the game, because there was a 2-year gap. It was like 2.5 years between the 2 games, because they really pulled out the stops with this game. This is a lot of unique movesets. For a Musou game that's not Dynasty Warriors and doesn't have like 30 games to build off of, they really pulled out all the stops. But if you like the currently airing season when these came out, you kind of got short end of the stick for sure. You got to factor in, I think the show had like, Ghost must have only been like maybe a quarter of the way through. And then like when they're actually making the game, it probably had barely been airing at all. They might have only been given like some fight scene footage or something. But yeah, there's like 51 characters in this game. And there's not really any clones. There's also some assist-only characters, like if I pick a character here, let's see who I want to play as. I'll play as Skyrider. There's actually some assist-only characters, which kind of sucks, because there's some of the characters I'd really want to play as. They have Auto Vajin here. They have Z Cross. I really want to play as him, but he's assist only. Major buzzkill. I think there's a couple other assist-only characters as well. I guess they didn't have time to make him playable.
笑よし元気いっぱい行こうぜ一戦ではみんなの夢のために狂うぞ3点必殺空中稲妻スカイ
Beautiful. Big gaming. I love Skyrider in this game. It's got straight up Marvel vs. Capcom flight mode cancels.
私の力は本物のもの私がされているというのかまだまだ楽しい時間は終わらねえみてえだ仮面ライダーはいつだって正義の味方だ
Yeah, if you want to play this game, there's ways to get it for free. I can't tell you, but it's pretty easy to find. English translation problems is pretty much just the figures, but they're fully translated. You can find the notepad file online. They were done by a Basara player, which should tell you that if you like Basara, you should play this game. It's a very good Muso game. I actually rank it very high. It's still not as good as Basara, but it's very close. Especially for the amount of unique movesets that it has with, like, no clones, is very impressive, considering they did that in 3 games. And there were no expansions, there were no spin-offs or Orochi games or anything, or Empires or Extreme Legends. It's just a straight trilogy. And they managed to do that somehow, which is very impressive. It's a shame that they stopped that line of Kamen Rider games, because they were just getting better and better. I feel like the problem with making a new one now, even if Aiding was still working on Kamen Rider stuff, is that it's been like been almost 8 years since the last game, so it's going to come with a lot of expectations. Because the gap between 2 and 3 was like over 2 years. So they massively increased the roster, and they added all the Showa riders as well, and then they added a couple of the secondary and territory riders for some of the Heisei seasons. I don't really know how they could approach making a new one. Unless there's been like almost a decade worth of content to add now, and I don't see how they could really do it. It would be nice if it happened, but I feel like people would be disappointed either way, because it would probably just be like the primary and secondary rider for a lot of the seasons. So like X8 and onward would probably only be like 2 riders per season, because that's still like almost 20 new characters, which is a lot. I think that they could probably do it, because they did with Genesis, the game I was just playing, but knowing Bamco and how much shit budget they give their developers that make games for them, I don't know how they would really expand upon it. It really felt like when they made Genesis that they knew that it was going to be the last one. Because the game immediately after Genesis was Climax Fighters, which is a Power Stone clone with no single-player content and the worst netcode I've experienced since KOF 13. So it's not worth buying or playing at all. Climax Scramble was the game after. That one is Switch exclusive. That one's worth playing. It's still like not what you want. It's not another Batride War, but it at least has single-player content, and it's in English as well. So if you've actually watched the shows, you get a little some fan service with the interactions and stuff, but it is very much another generic low-budget arena fighter, so not really something you should really be super excited to play. But I do think as a fan, the Kamen Rider games have gotten way better. Because they've done really good. Memory of Heroes is a great game. And then ST Shin Kamen Rider Rumble, you could definitely tell that there was a shoestring budget to make it with, and then also it had to tie in with the movie. So that definitely held it back, but it's a decent action roguelike beat 'em up. And I was actually surprised at how well it was balanced, because you didn't need any of the upgrades, the meta progression upgrades, to beat the game. They actually balanced it around skill, which is very impressive, because a lot of these action roguelikes like to catfish you into thinking you can do it with skill, but it's always a thinly veiled forced grind. It's not like there's not really much in the sense of builds. The meta progression is very boring. It's all just stat increases. I definitely think that's something they should have improved, but for the price, I mean, it's on sale right now if you want to buy it. It's a nice little roguelike. I might start doing little runs on it every now and then when I don't have anything like new to play. But yeah, that's kind of how Kamen Rider games have been going ever since Aiding stopped making the Bat Ride War games. It was on like a major decline, but it's starting to get better again. I don't know if they're gonna bother making another Bat Ride War. I feel like it's probably because it doesn't sell well, and the expectations are so high because it's pretty impressive when you think about it. They managed to basically match the roster up to Spirit of Sanada and Samurai Warriors in 3 games. When you think about how many games it took for Samurai Warriors to get to that point, because they have all the expansions, right? The Empires and Extreme Legends and the spin-offs and stuff. That's actually pretty impressive that they were able to make over 50 unique movesets with no clones in just, what, like 4 years? I don't think anyone else in Musou history has managed to do that without having some kind of sacrifice. But yeah, that's going to do it for now. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed, I think. I haven't taken my crazy person pills yet, so I got to factor in. I'm probably looking at like a 2:30 bedtime. I got stuff to do tomorrow or today. I got to get some groceries and get a haircut and maybe get some new pants as well. So I'm going to be all over the place. I'll see you guys later. Let me see if there's anybody on. Maybe I can send you guys to. But yeah, if you're craving a Musou game, I definitely recommend playing the game I was just playing. It's a very good game. It's one of the best Musou games that nobody has touched. It's an excellent game. I still have fun playing it, even though I've done everything in it like twice. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Good night. I'll probably boot up in the morning or the afternoon, because I gotta start preparing for Wo Long DLC, because that's in like a week. And I haven't gotten to the level cap yet. I need to clear my storage in the game as well. And then maybe do a little bit more grinding before the DLC. So I'm probably going to do some segments of Wo Long content while I work on the Steam Deck video. And then I got the Goemon like to play as well, so I'll probably do Goemon like in the Mameta no Bakeru or whatever it's called. I'll probably do that, and then Wo Long for the later stream today. I'll see you guys later.